Hi paper crafters, welcome to another Design with Jo video. I'm Joanne Rogers, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I've been designing with you in mind since 1999. Hello everybody! Do you make Valentine's cards? And if you do make Valentine's cards, are they really cute, heartsy kind of Valentine's cards, or are they a little bit more elegant Valentine's cards? And I had a post up, was it yesterday, the day before, or even before that? And we had some folks saying, no, they're not really into hearts and things like that. We're going to have a couple hearts today, because we're going to be using the Be Mine suite of products, which is super, super cute. So we have just for special friends is what Maggie says. And yeah, I agree with you, Maggie. Not everybody gets a Valentine's Day card. Certainly your significant other probably, or maybe your children or your grandchildren would get something. I'll show you the stamp set. And I think we're also going to do Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to put that off to the side. We are going to use our punch and we're going to use this paper. Now this is the paper here. I'm going to keep that guy and we're going to cut this paper down to size. And all of the measurements for what I'm using today, I will have on my blog tomorrow. Now with this paper, obviously you want to cut it a certain way because we don't want to cut it this way so that our bees are going top to bottom. We want to cut it so that our bees are going left to right because that's the way they're supposed to go. And so you can see here, actually I'm going to go this way first. So why I did that. So when I'm looking at my paper, I'm actually going to be cutting a square with my paper and the square is going to be 3 by 3. And I have a piece of paper and this is going to allow you to get the most out of your paper. So how big is this? This piece here is 5 1/4 by 6. So I know that I want 3 by 3. So if I did 3 by 3 here, I would cut off this piece here. And then I'd have a piece like this and a piece like this. If instead I cut it at my 3 first here, then I'm going to have a bigger piece left at the bottom that I can use later. So I'm going to cut it first here. Get my scoring one out of the way. See, so I've got a big piece left, and then I'm going to have a little smaller piece. Both good-sized pieces that I'm going to be able to use for something else. What I've also done in advance is I have embossed another piece of sweet sorbet, and I am going to just glue that down on top of my sweet sorbet card base. And let me just fold this in half. I already have it scored. Pull out my bone folder. I'm going to turn it aside. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down. So this is just a really easy layout that you can use for any card that you want to make. And it doesn't have to be this designer paper. Any pattern paper will work. And I've got another example to show you of paper from the celebration paper that you probably are really going to like. So all we're going to do is we're going to glue this paper down, and I'm thinking you want that side, not that side. In fact, I'm not even going to get up on my little stool to look because I think I know the answer. And we're just going to glue that down with a little bit of a black border. So I've got 2 pieces of black, and this is a little bit smaller one, and it's just going to go over the top. Okay, again with my liquid glue, I'm going to put that down. And I know it's a shame to cover up those cute little bees, but you'll see why we're doing that in just a minute. So this is a great little layout by itself. Now I see my little piece of black, and you probably can't see it, is jutting out just a little bit. So I'm going to turn that over. It's hard to see. And I place the shank of my scissors right up against and just trim that off so that it's even. I have a piece of vellum and we are going to stamp. What I'm going to do as well is, so this is a builder punch. It's a bee builder punch, meaning that we can put these pieces together to create our bee. So here's the body of the bee. The heart, which is perfect for Valentine's, of course, is going to be where the wings come in. So let me show you that. and I can also show you on another card. So here are the wings. You can see that they're a heart. And then the little heart is actually for the antenna. Okay, so when we're doing our bee, each one of these pieces is going to contribute to making our bee. Move that guy off. While we were waiting, I just want to cut a heart. That one's got a little bit of blue on it, so I'm just going to go for a heart. Now this is the basics embossing folder right here. I'm just going to use that. And we are going to stamp. Now this is our glass mat, and you've probably seen it all over the place lately. It is great for stamping on. So even your photopolymer, because it's a nice, solid, very rigid surface, and you just stamp directly onto it, and you actually don't even need to have the foam on it, and it works just perfectly. So we are going to just, because this is vellum, this has got a plastic finish on it. So if I don't do something to that ink, like put on clear embossing powder, that ink will take forever to dry or never dry. And so we are going to dry it, sort of, by putting on clear embossing powder. Plus it gives it a really nice shine. And we are going to emboss that on, there's 2 different levels here, and we're going to pick number 1. And we can heat it up on number 2. And we want to use number 1 because it won't warp the vellum. So that's one thing with, when you heat up your vellum, it can, even your paper, it can really warp it. So we are using less intensity of heat here it'll take a little bit longer to actually do it, but I'm hoping that you can see here that it's turning shiny. And the color is a little bit lighter than what it was, but it's still going to be perfectly able to be seen. And I'm just going to make sure it's all, I know it's a little hard to hear me when that's going. I can see that I don't have it quite cooked. And I can see right down here, how I can tell is that it's not shiny. So I'm going to just give it another little shot here, right at that area. Some people like to come from the back as well, and you can. I just really like to see where I am pointing my gun. There we go, and I think that that's got it now. One more little bit. There we go. We are going to use the modern oval punch. And the modern oval punch it came out in the mini catalog last time. It's still here, so it stayed around. Now what I want to show you too is, I know most of you know how to do this, but when you have a smaller piece of paper, whether it be cardstock or in this case vellum, it's hard to hold on to in a big punch like this. So just make yourself a little handle. I have to just get the bottom piece in. Make yourself a little handle, and then you can move that around in there. Okay, so just punch that out. You can reuse that Post-it note. We are going to put dimensionals on the back of here. And I have some black dimensionals. I have some mini ones, but I want to use up some of the ones going around the outside edge. So I'm just going to cut those. And I'm using black because we have black paper. Looks like I didn't get it quite cut. There we go. And I'm going to maybe just pick up one of these little guys for the middle. I always like to have in the middle so it doesn't sag. That's great because my sample is to the right. And then I have another idea to show you a slight variation on the layout. Our little heart is going to go in the middle. And it's going to do 2 things. One, it's going to be an element to our card, but it's also going to show up the Happy Valentine's Day just a little bit. So it's just something in behind that gives a little texture. If you look hard, you might see the little dots, the raised dots. And if you don't, oh well, it's there. So it's going to go right over top of the black. Now, it's always hard to glue your vellum. So what we're going to do is we're going to use we're going to put a couple little embellishments on either side. And we've got, for embellishments, we've got these little guys that came with the collection, or come with the collection. They're called adhesive backed hearts and flowers. And there's the ones that we have for the small heart. Now I do find sometimes getting things off of the acetate sheet to be a little bit hard. So what I do is here, I just lifted it with my nail and picked it up, but I'm also bending the acetate just a little bit so that I can get a better grip on it. Okay, so we're gonna put one down here. And even if they're not exactly straight, it'll be fine. And I'm gonna do the same with the other one. I'm bending it a little bit, picking up with the point. I'm gonna try and get it nice and even. Looks not too bad. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little tiny dot of glue in behind there. And you really don't need very much. And where I see the most red through here, I'm also gonna put a tiny, and I'm talking a midget amount of glue on there. And then that's going to go right over top of our heart. Okay, and it's going to stick down. You might need to hold it for just a little bit. We can put our ribbon anywhere. I was going to just make a bow with it. Now to make a bow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it one way. There's a couple different ways to make a bow, but I'm going to make it where I make a loop and put that in my right hand. I'm going to make another loop in my left hand, and I'm going to cross that left one over the right and sort of push it around and through the hole. And when you're done, you're going to get something that doesn't even look like, well, it's a funny looking bow, right? So I'm going to play with it a little bit. And when you make it that way, the great part is that your tails work. Your tails are going one side to the other. Okay, so I'm just playing, tightening up each time so that it's nice and strong. Okay, and it won't fall apart. We're decorating the inside now. Just one little bit of black showing around there. Move it around. We're going to glue this onto our card, and I'm putting it on the right of the inside of the card to balance off the front of the card where it's on the left. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue here and then glue on the inside, and then I'll come back and put that bow on. Isn't that cute? Oh, this is so sweet. And we're gonna put the bow on. I think I saw Janine's there, so we are going to put it on the right. And I've got my glue dot right there. Pick this up, and we're going to put it right there. And I might need to just trim a little tiny bit so that it fits in the envelope really nicely. There we go. Okay, so that is our card today. Super cute little card. Again, this is a layout that you can use over and over and over again. And you just need a punch and some vellum, and you can see through it. It just creates a little different kind of look. Thanks very much for joining me. Please like the video and subscribe if you'd like to. Also join my email list where you can get exclusive ideas from me every week. Thanks very much. Have a great paper crafting day.